Still rocking after all these years.
This is the story of my rock and roll butler.
This is it, the show that started it all. Often imitated, but never equal. From San Francisco, USA. Online since 2004. It's the one and only Rock and Roll Geek Show. With the original Rock and Roll Geek, Michael Butler.
Welcome to the Rock and Roll Geek Show. My name is Michael Butler. Thanks a lot for joining me. I really appreciate it. Today is Monday, July 31st, 2017, when I'm recording this show. But I'm recording this show for posting on Tuesday, August 1st, because that is day one of the Dog Days of Podcasting, which I am again participating in this year. This is my, I don't know if I've been doing it probably maybe this is my third year or fourth year. I don't remember, but if you don't know, Dog Days of Podcasting is a thing that happens every month of August where a bunch of podcast nerds get together and, they don't get together, but they join forces on this one feed called the Dog Days of Podcasting, and everybody is supposed to do a show every day for the entire month of August. Pardon me, I can't talk, so I better open up my second Tecate of the day. I'm on my way to band practice, and I really should not be drinking because I don't want to be too wasted at band practice. I will start drinking at practice, but I'm going to drink this because I cannot do a show without having something to, pardon the expression, lubricate the throat. Ah! Oh, wow. Yes. It is true what they say, friends. The second one of the day is always the best. All right. So, thank you for joining me on Dog Days of Podcasting, day one. On this episode, I'm just going to probably just tell you what's going to be happening with the Rock and Roll Geek Show. By the way, if you're listening to the Dog Days of Podcasting feed because you're one of the Dog Days of Podcasting, the thing about the Dog Days feed, pretty much it's only listened to by people who are doing shows. So it's kind of a circle jerk, but it's the kind of circle jerk that I enjoy. So if you are listening on the Dog Days of Podcasting feed, welcome to the circle jerk, friends. Okay, so on this month, that's some more podcasting humor right there, folks. All right, on the Dog Days of Podcasting 2017, I'm going to be reading every episode. No, I probably will not, but if I decide to read one, because there's a lot of people who do, so if I decide to copy some of them, maybe I'll be reading some episodes. Shockey said I should read every episode, but another thing, I'm kind of bummed out that my friend Shockey is not participating this year. He says last year he broke the feed, and that he doesn't think he's welcome to come back, and I am really bummed out that he's not, and I find it very hard to believe that he's not welcome to participate in the Dog Days of Podcasting feed. I enjoyed listening to his show every day. It was my favorite one, other than the other ones, what I'm not going to mention. All right. So on what I'm going to be doing this month is, hopefully I will be getting a lot of audio comments, and I will take an episode and I will read your audio comment. Maybe you'll have a show review. Maybe you'll tell me that my show sucks and I should give up. Or maybe you will have a rock and roll book review. Maybe you will have a fishing story to tell me. I've been doing a lot of kayak fishing, so I will probably be talking a lot about fishing this year. I went on Saturday fishing and got a bunch of rockfish on the kayak. It was this thing they called, the NorCal Kayak Anglers Group does a thing called Paddle It Forward, which is a big charity event. They have a big auction, not a big auction, but a big raffle. They get all these people to donate prizes, and you buy raffle tickets for $10 a piece, and they raffle them all off. And all these people get together in Monterey, and they go out and paddle and do some fishing and drinking on the water and just enjoying themselves in a day in the kayak. Well, I brought my fishing poles and brought the kayak and went out fishing and caught a shitload of rockfish. Actually caught probably close to my limit, but I was not really I'm not that experienced enough to be able to tell the different kinds of rockfish because there's so many different ones. And I didn't know what the legal size is. The first one I caught was about 11 inches long. And I said on the radio, "Hey, what's the size limit for rockfish?" And I got different answers from everybody. And they said, "What kind of rockfish is it?" And I said, "Fuck if I know." And then they all said, "If you don't know what it is, throw it back." So like an idiot, I threw it back, and I kept, whenever I would catch something that was smaller than 12 inches, I would throw it back. And then I caught a big one that was bright red. And I thought I remember hearing something that one of these rockfish is you're not allowed to keep. And I said, "Are you allowed to keep these bright red ones?" And they said, "Oh, that's a canary," or something like that. That's a $400 fine. So I threw that back, caught another one of those, threw that back, and then I took a picture of the one before I threw it back, and I showed it to one of these experts after I got back in the shore, and he said, "No, you're allowed to keep one of those." So I ended up throwing back probably about 7 fish, and I ended up keeping 3 extremely large rockfish. I had one of them for dinner tonight. I stuffed it with some herbs from my garden, a whole bunch of just piled it with some fresh oregano, fresh thyme, fresh parsley, some red onions, lemon, smeared it with olive oil, put some scores in the skin, and I roasted it for about 20 minutes, and I served it with some Spanish rice. It was so delicious. And there's nothing like eating fish that you had just caught. So enjoyed that. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about fishing this month. I'll be talking a lot about rock. I'll probably play a song every day. And maybe I'll read your emails. I know some people have already given me some suggestions, so thank you. Please keep them coming. rockandrollgeek@gmail.com. Or you can send them to me by email, audio comment by email, rockandrollgeek@gmail.com. Or you can call the Skype number, which is area code 706-621-ROCK. But I would prefer that you email it to me to rockandrollgeek@gmail.com. So that's what I'm going to be doing this month. The Rockin' Pod Expo in Nashville is taking place at the end of this month in Nashville. I'm flying out on the 24th. I'll be there for probably 2 or 3 days. So I'm going to be doing a show there every day. I got some people who donated, who pledged, because it's a GoFundMe thing, gofundme.com/rockinpodexpo or something like that. And one of the perks was if you donated in the name of the Rock and Roll Geek Show a certain amount of money, I think it was $100 or something, you could co-host a show with me. So I got a couple of people that are going to co-host an episode with me. I think if you contributed $200, I would take you and a guest out to dinner. So somebody bought that. So I'm going to be doing that. My wife is coming with me. My stepfather is going to be driving up from the cabin in Georgia. We're going to get together. He's going to be hanging out with us. Then we're driving to the cabin in Georgia. Going to be doing a shitload of fishing. So I'm going to be doing all this while I'm there. Coming back on the 3rd. So I will finish up the dog days there. And I'll be probably doing a few regular Rock and Roll Geek episodes as well. Most of the people who do these Dog Days shows are doing them very short episodes. So if you're listening to mine and it's a long episode, you can feel free to fast forward if you want. So that's what's going to be happening on the Dog Days of Podcasting for the Rock and Roll Geek Show this year. I'm looking forward to listening to everybody else's podcasts. For the most part, I enjoyed them all. I think there's some new people joining in this year. I think there's some Rock and Roll Geek friends of the show that started podcasts. A couple of them are participating. So I'm looking forward to listening to their show, because I will not listen unless it's at the Dog Days, because I just don't listen to other music shows, because I don't want to rip other podcasts off, it's always my main excuse for not listening to other music shows. All right. Is that enough of my rapping Is that enough of my yapping for Dog Days of Podcasting Day 1? I think so, friends. You're going to get this unprofessionalism and so much more of my unprofessionalism every day. A lot of people were not doing a show every day, and I went on record as saying, if you're going to commit to this thing, do a show every day. You don't have to. I'm sure everybody else is saying, don't do a show every day if you don't want to. Do whatever's comfortable for you. The original reason that this Dog Days was created was a lot of people did what was called pod fading. They were podcasting back in the early days when there was only maybe 50 or 60 podcasts, and they just kind of fell off. And this was a way for Craig Stepp to get people motivated to get back into podcasting, even if you did a show every few days or something. It's not hard and strict rules, but I am making my rules hard and strict because I think if you're going to commit to something, you should do it, damn it. So that's what I'm doing. All right. Enough. This is a 10-minute episode. It's probably 5 minutes too long for everybody else. But you know what? I'm going to keep it going a little bit longer because I'm going to play a song. I figured what I would do is spin the wheel of iTunes. So I'm going to move my little cursor up and down my iTunes. I have 34,636 songs on my iTunes. So I'm just going to up, down, and I'm going to stop. I'm going to close my eyes, and I'm going to hit one, and it came up to a band called It's Casual. I have no idea who It's Casual is, and this song may suck, but the good part is it's only 1 minute and 45 seconds long, friends. It's called LAPD. Thank you so much for listening to the Rock and Roll Geek Show on this Dog Days of Podcasting Day 1. If this song sucks, blame it on Craig Stepp. Okay? All right. We'll talk to you tomorrow, friends. Oh, it didn't play. Huh. Isn't that interesting? Oh, here we go. Uh-oh.
No one has been wet. New Los Angeles. We gotta put a stop to this. Oh, no. It's the new Los Angeles. Oh, no. It's the new Los Angeles. Oh, no. It's the new Los Angeles, oh, no. It's the new Los Angeles, oh, new Los Angeles. No one has my ways. Oh, new Los Angeles. We gotta put a stop to this. Oh, no. It's the new Los Angeles, oh, no. It's the new Los Angeles, oh, no. It's the new Los Angeles, oh, no. It's the new Los Angeles. No, no.
It's a rock and roll geek train wreck.